In the 1960s, psychologist Martin Seligman placed dogs into a small box. He administered mild electric shocks, not enough to cause serious harm, but enough to be deeply uncomfortable. The dogs tried everything. They jumped, they scratched, they ran into the walls. But the shocks kept coming. Nothing they did made any difference. Then Seligman changed something. He put the same dogs into a new box, one with a low divider they could easily jump over to escape. When the shocks came this time, the dogs could leave at any moment. None of them tried. They just lay down and waited for it to stop. The exit was right there. The dogs had the physical ability to jump that divider at any point. So why didn't they? And more importantly, are there areas in your own life where the door has been open for years and you've never once tried it? When a living being repeatedly experiences situations where its actions have no effect on the outcome, it eventually stops trying altogether. It is because it has learned that acting is pointless. This wasn't just about dogs. Seligman and his colleagues ran parallel studies on humans, exposing them to loud noises they couldn't stop, problems they couldn't solve. The pattern was identical. People stopped trying, even when the conditions changed, even when they could have succeeded. The brain had already written the conclusion, effort is useless here. And so it stopped producing effort. And there's a solid reason why this applies. Your nervous system is constantly building models of the world. If I do X, then Y happens. This model is how you navigate everything, from learning to walk, to learning to speak, to building a career. But when that feedback loop breaks, when X consistently produces nothing, the brain doesn't just pause, it rewires. It begins to classify entire categories of action as futile. And here's the dangerous part. This rewiring doesn't stay local, it generalizes. A child who learns that asking for help at home gets ignored doesn't just stop asking at home. They stop asking at school, at work, in relationships. The original box is gone, but the behavior it created stays. You can find learned helplessness in almost every corner of human experience. Students who've been told they're bad at math long after their math skills have improved. Employees in toxic workplaces who stop making suggestions even after management changes. Patients with chronic illness who disengage from their treatment, not because treatment stopped working, but because they stopped believing it could. In each case, the situation changed. The internal model didn't. Seligman later noted something important. He learned helplessness is one of the main mechanisms behind depression. It is a learned belief that nothing you do will matter. Think about the areas in your life where you've stopped trying. The relationship you don't try to fix. The skill you're convinced you'll never develop. The version of yourself you've quietly given up on. Ask yourself honestly, did you stop because it was actually impossible? Or because at some point it felt impossible and your brain never updated that conclusion? The dogs in Seligman's box were not broken. They were trained. The question is not whether you can escape. The question is whether you still believe the door is there.